Hey, thanks, ladies and gentlemen, for joining me. Once again, I am your host, Derek Lane. Another edition of the Fast Lane Podcast for Success. I anticipate a great and awesome week, and I hope you're anticipating the same thing. Glad you could join me once again. This week, the other day I was driving, and I happened to think about, the analogy of driving. On my commute, I thought, drive. Just the word itself, drive. That's what we do in life. We have drive. We have purpose. We're driving. We're driven for success. And the funny thing about it is I got to thinking about all of the other analogies using a vehicle for success. Like keeping your motor running. Make sure your motor is always running. Make sure you're steering in the right direction. Make sure that you're on track. Your GPS is taking you in the right direction. And sometimes we even race to get there. It's not a perfect one, but hey, whatever. And then sometimes we look in the rearview mirror to see where we've been, to analyze what we're doing, how far we've come. It's our measurement to see, where our success is and how we've made it happen. And then, obviously, there is the fast lane. You knew I'd bring it up, didn't you? All right, well, listen, in success and moving forward with your success and the drive that we have, we all have drive. We're all driven to do the best that we can in life. Well, most of us. At least that's what we want. That's what we tell ourselves, right? That we're driven to be the best that we can be. So that's what I want you to think about. And I bring that up because I want you to think about the times that you're driving your vehicle. I want you to think about, hey, I'm driving. And let that kind of spur that creativity to say, hey, yeah, I'm driving. I need to think about where I'm driving, where I'm going, what am I doing? And spend that time in your car, in your commute. Even if you're not in a car, even if you're on a train or you're on a bus or whatever it is that you're commuting, spend that time feeding your brain, feeding your system with success. We all have certain authors that we appreciate, we listen to, and then we learn and we find new authors, we find new programs, whether it's sales or marketing or business, even accounting, whatever it is that we're doing. Spend that time feeding your brain. You can accomplish so much. There was a friend of mine that was in sales, and he told me, he says, I got this. I've waited so long. I waited so long, and I bought this program that I really, really, really wanted, and I listened to it, and I was so eager to listen to it, and I didn't get anything out of it. Not like I thought I would. Maybe I got a few things here and there, but it didn't really change what I was doing. And I said to him, I said, well, you're not going to in the first time you listen to it, because the first time you listen to it, you're just kind of you're kind of listening to the words. You're kind of getting a feel for what the author or speaker is talking about. You need to listen to it more than once, more than 2, 3 times, 4 times, whatever. Keep listening to it. You will start to pick up things, because what it's doing is when you get an idea of new ideas, it takes a little bit before your brain to accept it, before your subconscious, before it becomes a part of you, because you're introducing something new to yourself. You're introducing a new element, and sometimes the newness is uncomfortable. When you learn a new sales strategy, you don't just go out there and lay it on somebody and go, oh, boy, that worked great. I'm going to learn a new one. I'm going to lay it on somebody else. No, you have to make it yours. It has to be a part of you. So often people think that sales strategies are manipulation strategies, and it's not that. It's a strategy to help people make a decision, and hopefully one that benefits you. But a true sales professional will realize if their product isn't right for someone, they tell them that. My product is not right for you. I would suggest that, you do A, B, or C, and I will just see your next client. And that's integrity. The most successful people in sales have integrity. You're not just selling for the moment, because you won't be in this game very long if that's what you're doing. But you do need to learn sales techniques and strategies for the people that do need your product and services, so you can convince them, so you can offer them ways to understand how your product and services benefit them. And then once you sell those products and services and it does benefit them, and not only are they a client, they become an ambassador for your product and will refer you clients. And that's the ultimate goal. Okay, enough about that. It's not a sales speech, but I want you to understand that it takes time to learn things. It takes time for things to soak in. So when you're driving, when you get that drive and that motivation, I want you to understand that you're learning. So do it over and over and over. And there are a great many, songs. I'm a classic rock guy, but I utilize my time wisely to be a better person, to be a better businessman, to be a better husband, to be a better father. So, or at least try to be. We all have things that we can be better at. If you say you're perfect and you're lying, but the need to be perfect and be the best we can, it should be instilled upon all of us. Just like a businessman with his business acumen, you invest into yourself. A good business person will take a portion of their profits and invest it back into the company to make the company grow, to make it flourish, to make it better. And that's what you need to do. On your track and your journey to be successful, you have to invest into yourself. Spend a little time and a little effort and invest into yourself to be better, to grow. I've said if you were a stock, you would have to show improvement in order for investors to invest into you. And that's what you have to do on a daily basis. So oftentimes it takes a long, hard look at ourselves to determine whether we want to be, also rans, or we want to stand out and be the elite. So be elite. Make that decision to be an elite person, to be the best you can, to learn the most you can. In my consulting business, I take a different approach than most consultants. Most consultants come into a business and what they want to do is start slashing expenses. Because what it does is it validates their value. It validates, what they're charging a customer. Well, look how much money I saved you. Aren't you glad you picked me? I saved you a ton of money. Well, that's all fine, and that's a short-term solution, and it's temporary. What I try to offer my clients is ways to increase profits. Yes, sometimes expenses are unnecessary in some cases, but that it doesn't stop there. You don't just cut the expenses out and go, well, I've done my job, see you later. The job of a true consultant is to take a look at the business as a whole and see where it can be improved. Take a set of eyes on the outside looking in, because business owners, most of them have built their business up and they understand their business a lot better than a consultant will coming in from the outside. But what you do is you share business strategies, things that maybe they've never learned, things that's never occurred to them, and you share those business strategies to help them, to try to make more profit. Now, whether it comes in different forms. My consulting services go beyond just looking at dead profits. It could be relations, customer relations, employee relations, product vendors. There's a myriad of things that can be looked at beyond expenses. So I'm very proud of the fact that I'm able to help people understand a lot more than what meets the eye. But that's getting back to my point, is that's what you got to do as a person, is that you have to take a look at all aspects of who you are and what you're doing. How much money are you spending? How much are you bringing in? How is my relationships? Am I spending so much time consumed by trying to make a dollar that I've neglected the people that I love the most? It's a balance. You have to be balanced in your life. You have to understand there is a complete and utter balance to life, to itself. Okay, so back to my original analogy of drive. Your drive is much more than just chasing the dollar. Your drive should be a drive to not only make money and profit and flourish, because making money and having nice things is not a crime. You deserve it. But it's only a crime if you can't share it, if you're unwilling to share it. Give other people opportunities. Give other people insights. Share with the people that you love. Hell, share with strangers, your community. Once you understand the value of sharing and being a part of something bigger than yourself, you will grow exponentially. You'll grow exponentially as a person once you start to see that you can be bigger, dream bigger, have bigger. And when you see someone that you've tutored embrace the ideas and philosophies that you've shared and help them become a better person, him or her, become a better person, that's truly gratifying, my friend. It is truly gratifying. And you can't buy that. No matter how much money you make in your lifetime, you cannot buy that feeling of shared success in another person because you've had an effect on someone. So I want you to think about just that. Just being the best that you can be in all possibilities and all realms of your life. TheFastLanePodcast.com. I'm your host, Derek Lane, Podcast for Success. Thanks so much for joining me. Don't forget, send me emails on anything. I don't care. I just enjoy getting them and responding to them. And to those that have sent them to me, I appreciate it. Derek at FastLanePodcast.com. Derek, it's DEREK at FastLanePodcast.com. Listen to this podcast and please share it with people that you think could benefit from it. Let other people know that it's out there. Spotify, Spreaker, Stitcher, Google Play, iHeart, iTunes, YouTube, wherever. It's out there. It's out there. Just about on any venue that you can imagine. I'm going to leave you with that. And I appreciate your time. I appreciate your listenership. So have a wonderful and blessed day.